Working with sparklines. Sparklines are miniature charts that fit into a single cell. Since they're so compact, you can place a large number of them in your worksheets. For example, you could place one sparkline on each row to show trends within that row. In this lesson, you will learn how to insert sparklines and change their type and appearance. Creating sparklines. Sparklines were introduced in Microsoft Excel 2010 to be a convenient alternative to charts. Unlike a traditional chart, a sparkline is placed inside a cell, allowing you to easily create a large number of sparklines. For example, one on each row. Types of sparklines. There are three different types of sparklines: line, column, and win or loss. Line and column work the same as line and column charts. Win or loss is similar to column, except it only shows whether each value is positive or negative, instead of how high or low the values are. All three types can display markers at important points, such as the highest and lowest points, to make them easier to read. Why use sparklines? Sparklines are basically charts. So why would you want to use sparklines instead of charts? Sparklines have certain advantages that make them more convenient in many cases. Imagine you have 1,000 rows of data. If you place a sparkline on each row, it will be right next to its source data, making it easier to see the relationships between the numbers and the sparkline. If you used a traditional chart, it would need to have 1,000 data series in order to represent all of the rows, and you would probably need to do a lot of scrolling to find the relevant data in the worksheet. Sparklines are ideal for situations where you just want to make the data clearer and more eye-catching, and where you don't need all of the features of a full chart. On the other hand, charts are ideal for situations where you want to represent the data in greater detail, and they're often better for comparing different data series. To create sparklines. Generally, you will have one sparkline for each row, but you can create as many as you want in any location you want. Just like with formulas, it's usually easiest to create a single sparkline and then use the fill handle to automatically create the sparklines for the remaining rows. 1. Select the cells that you will need for the first sparkline. 2. Click the Insert tab. 3. In the Sparklines group, select Line. A dialog box will appear. 4. Make sure the insertion point is next to the location range. 5. Click the cell where you want the sparkline to be. In this example, we'll select the cell to the right of the selected cells. 6. Click OK. The sparkline will appear in the document. 7. Click and drag the fill handle downward. 8. Sparklines will be created for the remaining rows. Changing the appearance of your sparklines. To show points on the sparkline. Certain points in the sparkline can be emphasized with markers or dots, making the sparkline more readable. For example, in a line with a lot of ups and downs, it may be difficult to tell which ones are the highest and lowest points, but if you show the high point and low point, it will be easy to identify them. 1. Select the sparklines that you want to change. If they are grouped, you only need to select one of them. 2. Locate the Show group in the Design tab. 3. Hover over the different checkboxes to see a description of each one. 4. Check each option that you want to show. The sparklines will update to show the selected option. To change the style. 1. Select the sparklines that you want to change. 2. Locate the Style group in the Design tab. 3. Click the More drop-down arrow to show all of the available styles. 4. Select the desired style. 5. The sparklines will update to show the selected style. To change the sparkline type. 1. Select the sparklines that you want to change. 2. Locate the Type group in the Design tab. 3. Select the desired type, column, for example. 4. The sparkline will update to reflect the new type. Some sparkline types will be better or worse for certain types of data. For example, win or loss is best suited for data where there may be positive and negative values, such as net earnings. Changing the display range. By default, each sparkline is scaled to fit the maximum and minimum values of its own data. This allows you to fill the entire cell, no matter how high or low the values are. However, it has a downside. If you're trying to compare several sparklines, you won't be able to tell at a glance which ones have higher or lower values. The solution is to make the display range the same for all of the sparklines. To change the display range: 1. Select the sparklines that you want to change. 2. In the Design tab, click the Axis command. A drop-down menu will appear. 3. Under Vertical Axis Minimum Value Options and Vertical Axis Maximum Value Options, select Same for all sparklines. 4. The sparklines will update to reflect the new range. Using conditional formatting. Imagine you have a spreadsheet with thousands of rows of data. It would be extremely difficult to see patterns and trends just from examining the raw data. Microsoft Excel 2010 gives you several features that will make this task easier. One of these tools is called conditional formatting. With conditional formatting, you can apply formatting to one or more cells based on the value of the cell. You can highlight interesting or unusual cell values and visualize the data using formatting, such as colors, icons, and data bars. In this lesson, you will learn how to apply, modify, and remove conditional formatting rules. Conditional formatting applies one or more rules to any cells that you want. An example of a rule might be, if the value is greater than 5,000, color the cell yellow. By applying this rule to the cells in a worksheet, you will be able to see at a glance which cells are over 5,000. There are also rules that can mark the top 10 items, all cells that are below the average, cells that are within a certain date range, and many more. To create a conditional formatting rule: 1. Select the cells that you want to add the formatting to. 2. In the Home tab, click the Conditional Formatting command. A drop-down menu will appear. 3. Select Highlight Cells Rules or Top or Bottom Rules. We will choose Highlight Cells Rules for this example. A menu will appear with several rules. 4. Select the desired rule, greater than, for example. 5. From the dialog box, enter a value in the space provided, if applicable. If you want, you can enter a cell reference instead of a number. 6. Select a formatting style from the drop-down menu. 7. The formatting will be applied to the selected cells. If you want, you can apply more than one rule to your cells. Conditional formatting presets. Microsoft Excel 2010 has a number of presets that you can use to quickly apply conditional formatting to your cells. They are grouped into 3 categories. Data bars are horizontal bars added to each cell much like a bar graph. Color cells change the color of each cell based on its value. Each color cell uses a 2 or 3 color gradient. For example, in the green, yellow, red color scale, the highest values are green, average values are yellow, and the lowest values are red. Icon sets add a specific icon to each cell based on its value. To use preset conditional formatting: 1. Select the cells you want to add the formatting to. 2. In the Home tab, click the Conditional Formatting command. A drop-down menu will appear. 3. Select data bars, color scales, or icon sets, data bars for example. Then select the desired preset. 4. The conditional formatting will be applied to the selected cells. To remove conditional formatting rules: 1. Select the cells that have conditional formatting. 2. In the Home tab, click the Conditional Formatting command. A drop-down menu will appear. 3. Select Clear Rules. 4. A menu will appear. You can choose to clear rules from the selected cells, entire sheet, this table, or this pivot table. In this example, we will clear rules from the entire sheet. You can edit or delete individual rules by clicking on the Conditional Formatting command and selecting Manage Rules. This is especially useful if you have applied multiple rules to the cell. Creating pivot tables. Pivot table reports, or simply pivot tables, make the data in your worksheets much more manageable by summarizing the data and allowing you to manipulate it in different ways. Pivot tables can be an indispensable tool when used with large, complex spreadsheets, but they can be used with smaller spreadsheets as well. In this lesson, you will learn the basics of creating and manipulating pivot tables. Pivot tables. When you have a lot of data, it can sometimes be difficult to analyze all of it. A pivot table summarizes the data, making it easier to manage. Best of all, you can quickly and easily change the pivot table to see the data in a different way, making this an extremely powerful tool. Using pivot tables to answer questions. The example below contains sales statistics for a fictional company. There is a row for each order, and it includes the order amount, the name of the salesperson who made the sale, the month, the sales region, and the customer's account number. Suppose we wanted to answer the question, what is the amount sold by each salesperson? This could be time-consuming as each salesperson appears on multiple rows and we would need to add up all of the order amounts for each salesperson. Of course, we could use the subtotal feature to add them, but we would still have a lot of data to sift through. Luckily, a pivot table can instantly do all of the math for us and summarize the data in a way that's not only easy to read, but also easy to manipulate. When we're done, the pivot table will look something like this. As you can see, the pivot table is much easier to read. It only takes a few steps to create one, and once you create it, you'll be able to take advantage of the pivot table's powerful features.